Hello, everyone, again. I'm Zoe. I'm your MC for tonight's festivities. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jess's brother-in-law. I've known the Howell family for over 15 years, so I definitely know where all the bodies are buried at this point. When Jen and Ken asked me to MC tonight, I honestly asked them, are you sure you want me to have a microphone? Oh, it was. And all I can really say, with all my love for both of you, I warned you. You brought this upon yourselves. Now, if we can please welcome Father Tom to give grace.
I'm sorry I forgot my suit at home. I don't have a wife. What can I say? Well, it has its perks, you know. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, God of all goodness, through the breaking of bread together, you strengthen the bonds that unite us in love. Bless these gifts. Bless that we could sit down together at table in joy and sincerity. We may grow always, hopefully, always closer to the bonds of love, because that's what unites all of us. Seigneur, nous te prions pour nos deux unis l'un à l'autre, Kenneth et Jessica. Et s'il vous plaît, Seigneur, de bénir cette repas et ce qu'il la prépare, et procurons-nous de manger pour les autres qui n'ont pas de manger. Amen.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good meal thus far. Obviously, the salads are delicious, and we're about to get started with the first round of speeches. So starting things off tonight is my lovely wife, maid of honor. In saying that, I'm going to avoid saying anything incriminating at a request of her. So, darling, if you wouldn't mind coming up, you can get it started.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, and I am honored to be here to celebrate my younger sister, Jess, and Ken getting married today. So, if you had told me as a child that I would be Jess's matron of honor, my younger self would not have believed you. Little Jenny might have said something like, "But Jess is so annoying." Or, "You mean that child that just bit me for changing the TV channel? No thanks." True story. Or, "Are you talking about that weird emo kid that lives with us? No way." Jess will protest that she was not an emo child, but her studded belts, blunt cut bangs, and copious black eyeliner would say otherwise. You see, Jess and I, we have a 4-year age gap, which it's basically impossible for sisters to get along. We were just far enough away in age that we couldn't agree on anything important. A larger age gap clearly works. My brother Adam is 7 years older than Jess, and she would just sit and watch him play video games, Final Fantasy, for days at a time, which I never really understood. What a weird child. However, something really magical happened when I left home for university. For the first time in our lives, at 14 and 18, the age gap didn't seem so big after all. Jess finally had something interesting to talk about, like high school friendship drama, who she had a crush on, and later, the house party she was holding when my parents were away at the cottage. Sorry, Mom and Dad. You see, being the youngest child, Jess got it easy. My brother and I never had caused any trouble. Mom and Dad are giving me the glare right now.
Yeah, they are.
So by the time we started high school, my parents were far too trusting. Jess and I, we even had one glorious year together at the University of Guelph, her first and my last, where we would hang out and grab coffee between classes like real friends. Watching Jess turn into an adult has been impressive. Her path has always been exciting, taking her from Guelph to Halifax to Montreal. She ruthlessly pursued her passion to become a meteorologist, and I very proudly told everyone I knew that my sister was responsible for deciding whether planes were able to take off or land all across the East Coast. That was pretty much her job, right, Jess? Basically the same thing. Her nerdiness for weather knows no boundaries, and she answers countless texts and phone calls from our family about incoming storms or weather predictions for important events, day or night. In fact, this summer at the cottage, my parents and I were huddled together in the basement on speakerphone with Jess after receiving a tornado warning. Jess reassured us that the maps look positive, and once they update in 6 more minutes, we should be in the clear. And of course, in true Jess fashion, she was right. I couldn't be more proud of the intelligent, passionate, and hardworking woman that my weird baby emo sister somehow grew up to become. I'm so happy that we got over our initial childhood disagreements and finally realized we're basically the same person, and we were definitely destined to be best friends. These days, I just know to make sure I ask her before changing the TV channel. And then came Ken. I knew he would fit into the family right away when on his first trip to the cottage, he spent the whole afternoon chopping wood by himself in plaid flannel. I thought, wow, Jess has found a real Canadian man. But I later learned that he was only chopping wood because he had to miss his CrossFit workout, and that was the next best thing. Ken easily joined into the nerdy conversations at family gatherings, discussing politics, engineering, and answering my dad's many questions about electric cars. One reason I know that Ken will make a great husband for Jess is his determination. This summer, after one of many trips to visit family in Ottawa, his car was making the most obnoxious roaring noise I have ever heard. Jess thought maybe it was time to invest in a newer car, but Ken, being the good recycling engineer that he is, he knew that this car had more life left in it. He was quoted $2,000 to replace the whole exhaust, but after getting underneath the car, he could see that it was just a tiny hole. How hard could that be to fix? A quick Amazon order and $20 later, he was set. One sweltering July afternoon, we watched as Ken sweat and struggled for a good 4 hours to detach the exhaust from its 4 hours to detach the exhaust from its rusty shackles. Jess and I contemplated whether she and Ken would just have to abandon the car and move in with us. But finally, Ken was victorious. And legend has it that that car is still running to this very day. But in all honesty, this tells me that Ken will never give up on things that are important to him, which I know includes his relationship with Jess. And even in life's toughest and rustiest moments, Ken is willing to put in the time and effort needed to get things done. Ken, we could not be happier that my sister found you. It is easy for everyone who knows you too to see just how happy you make each other. You have built an exciting and beautiful life together in Montreal, and although we wish you were closer, I know I don't have to worry about Jess because she's got such a fierce teammate by her side. But if I could give you one piece of advice for your marriage, maybe you just want to check with Jess before changing the TV channel. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to raise their glasses. Hopefully you've got something to drink. If not, there should be wine soon. And toast to the newlyweds. Here's to a lifetime of good health, happiness, and lots of laughter. Cheers.
All right, before I move on to introducing the best man for his speech, I do have kind of an itching question I think many people have been asking. Jess, during your vows this evening, you mentioned something about Ken being your human husband. Can we get just a little bit of clarification on that? I mean, the girls have rings bound to their arms. Is it Sauron that you've somehow married, or a lizard king? I mean, it was a gnome. A gnome. It's the beards. You're just into the beards then. Okay, anyways. Gnomes. Didn't think that was coming out. Next up, we get to welcome the globe-trotting best man, Pierre, who is joining us from France tonight. One interesting fact that was provided to me by Ken is that Pierre is in more family photos, his family photos, than Jess, his wife. We did a little count last night as well, and we also I think he outnumbers Kelsey and is pretty close to outnumbering Ken. So I do believe Pierre is an honorary member of that family at this point, if not the family member. So Pierre, please.
So good evening, everyone. So I'll try to do this speech in English. Google Translate certified. So if you don't understand something, I'm sorry. But, so before I start, I'd like to ask all of you a favor. If all of you could just please stand up and raise your hands, please. Yep. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, perfect. Just let me take a picture. Great. Perfect. Great. So thank you. So that will look like a standing ovation. So at least I got one. So I can post it on my Instagram. So thank you very much. Good.
Doesn't matter what you say now, that was gold.
So Ken, almost 10 years ago, beginning of September at Polytechnic, barely 10 days after I landed from France in this strange land with a somewhat obscure dialect, so Montreal, we had to form groups of two for our first school project of the year. So obviously I did not know anyone, and I quickly realized that I was the weird guy who speaks with a strange accent, and Ken, well, I wish I could tell you how a good guy he is and that he went out of his way to team up with me and introduce me to the class. But, you know, he was just late. And that's how everything started. So for almost 10 years now, I had a chance to discover what a great person you are, Ken, and always there to support you who thinks of others before himself. So, Ken, I remember our pizza gaming nights where I met Luke and Will, my two sidekicks tonight. So we destroyed a lot of noobs together. We got destroyed too, to the point of exploding of computer keyboards. So we were roommates also for 3 years, sharing everything, our meals, Netflix series, maybe with only one exception, motivation for cleaning. So, a beautiful couple, we could say. So, speaking of couples, I hope, Denise, tonight you are now a little more comforted about the nature of our relationship, if you know what I mean. So, Ken, I remember also all the trips we did to conquer Canada, to conquer France, passing by Alsace, my native region, the Alps, struggling, stuck in the snow for a few days, and to end in Japan, where you showed me your level of resistance to the sun with the biggest sunburn I ever seen in my life. So if you want the pictures, just come to see me. I have a lot of them. And finally, the encounter with Jess. And since that day, I've never seen you so happy. But tonight, I must, however, break with the tradition and speak to you about an anecdote about their first date, which obviously does not concern only the groom. So sorry, Jess, but you know Ken, and well, he asked me to inform this assembly that Ken was not the first one to match with Jess on a dating app. So I did match with Jess 1 week before Ken did. So for those who didn't believe me when I told you that we were sharing everything, so but I have to say that he managed to get the first date. You know what happened next, so. So more seriously, as we near the end of the speech, I just want to say how much of a great couple you are, and how lucky you both are to have found each other. You're both absolutely perfect for one another, and it's great that you found someone to share the rest of your lives, and with that seems to fit together so effortlessly. So you must make so many people so proud each and every day. So. Please join me in raising our glasses to the beautiful bride and handsome groom. May your lives together be long, healthy, and happy. We love you so much and are so excited for you. Cheers.
Fantastic speeches, thank you. Pierre, I do have one question. Did you have a beard at the time as well, or is this, yeah, okay, so it is.
This is worse because Ken told me on our
Hello, everyone. We're going to get moving on to the halfway mark of the speeches with the parents. First up is going to be the mother and father of the bride, Isabel and David Howell. Isabel and David are both retired teachers who raised two lovely children and Jess. Just gonna let that one sit in for a second. Yeah. Having known both of them now for 15 years, there's a couple things I can offer about one of them, or about each of them. First off, especially Ken, if Isabel offers you seconds at a meal, it will be followed with thirds, fourths, and fifths. We know. Yeah. Also, for anyone who are huge Tim Hortons fans or just want a freebie, please make sure to see Dave for his coupons. Dave and Isabel, please come up and give your speech.
So welcome and hello. Dave and I would like to, can you believe how big this font is for the third child? Dave and I would like to welcome everybody who has gathered here to celebrate our very special day. Some of you have come a long way, and we are so happy you were here. Special thanks go to the people they have chosen to stand beside them as they take this step. And there is not enough words to thank our families, Katie and Adam, to Jenny and Zoe. Yeah, I'll get it right someday. To Denise and Mike, to Kelsey and Shervin. They took up the challenge with laughter, enthusiasm, and hard work to make this day memorable for you both. Today, our family also remembers the people that were a big influence in Jessica's life. They're no longer with us, but they're not forgotten. We remember our parents, Janet and Russell McBride, and Dave's parents, Marguerite and Dalton Howell. Jessica will never forget the many games of hide and go seek with my dad, trips to the lake, and grandmothers that would cook, bake, buy, and provide anything she would ever want. But they did so love a party, and how they would have loved to be part of this celebration. I am very proud to be Jess's mom until tonight. You had a party at the house? You didn't give me enough money in a bribe for this. She was a happy and delightful child. I know you wanted to hear otherwise, but she paid me a lot of money to say this, so we'll go with it. She was the baby of the family, having 2 older siblings and 8 older cousins. There was always somebody to play with and teach her something new. It was quite an enviable position until it was not. I remember a time at the cottage when her Grammy sent Grampy and all the kids to town to buy a bumbleberry pie. Does everybody know what a bumbleberry pie is? It's basically a pie with a lot of variety of berries in it. So into the car, they all went and off to town. Jessica came back with the pie, and she was terribly upset. There was somebody in the car, or somebody's in the car, that had persuaded her that bumbleberry pies were full of bees. She was very upset with this, but she was more upset that her Grammy was going to make her eat a pie with bees in it. And we know some of the somebodies are here tonight, so remember that story? As the youngest, she had to find her place. She became very determined to set her own direction. Her grade 1 teacher told us that sometime in the future she would either have a very conventional job or be the Prime Minister of Canada, so watch for that, okay? Yep. We're not sure what was ahead of us. When she was 6, she spent all summer with her skipping rope on the sidewalk in front of the house, determined to get on a competitive skipping team with her siblings. Now, when you're 6, you're really highly coordinated, which she was not. So I really wondered what would happen if she got turned down, but in she bounced, all grins, she had made it. That same determination returned when she was 15 and read that hundreds of people will be needed across North America to fill future jobs in climatology, meteorology, and all the related fields. From then on, her goal was never changed. She researched the field, discovered the requirements, set her university courses accordingly, and away she went. We know it was not always been easy, but she persisted. And at this point, we're not even sure what she does in her job. But we are very, very proud with all that she has accomplished. So Jess, this is the point where the bride money runs out. So now your father will take over. Okay?
Well, I wanted to start out with something that was, nice and gentle. Like, our little redhead joined our family at a very busy time, and she had parties when we were at the cottage. Now, I have spoken to a couple of
The party goers.
the party goers.
Alleged party goers.
Kylie says she can't remember because it was too long ago. And Lara said she'd never do it without asking her parents first. But you and me need to chat, young lady. Anyway, let me continue. So our little redhead joined our family in a busy time in 1991. We had a new house that was still under construction, a new job for me, and a new baby, all in the same month. That was when the adventure started, and it continues to this day, to this new chapter in her life. I thought that I would share some of the events that helped her develop across the way. First of all, there was the lip. When asked to explain why there was spaghetti all over the kitchen floor, and we got no response, you should have seen the rolled lip that went halfway to her knees. A side note to Ken, you might want to watch out for that. I'm aware. Oh, good. It was also important to me that all my kids had life skills that were needed when we lived on a big lot in the country. We had a Kubota tractor with a 60-inch mower that could cut the grass in about an hour. After some training, Jess mastered that skill very well. In fact, she managed to do the whole 2 acres in 20 minutes. No messing around. I also had her wire a plug in our basement, just so that she had some idea about how it worked. But my go-to phrase in electrical work in our family was, first, get a bucket of water. And she was wise enough not to, even that age, that she knew that wasn't a very good idea. We had the chance of having her alone with us after Jenny left to go to university. The downside of that was she quickly adapted to my sense of humor and sadly has used it against me ever since. She was quick on the retort. Just a minute, there's more. And I was extremely disappointed and causing me to reply, I don't know how you people all turned out like that. And all I got for my apology was an eye roll. To this day, the competition continues, and sadly, I'm not winning. For example, just so you know where I'm at, one day I asked her to go into the family room and vacuum the floor, but unfortunately, I chose my words poorly. I said, go to the family room and make some vacuum noises. So she disappeared, and the next thing I hear is she's yelling, vroom, vroom. I don't know how she turned out like that. It's true, do you remember? Another time she was heading out with a friend, and as usual, my departure message was, have a good time, but no cheap drugs. To which she replied, don't worry, Dad, I just used the good stuff. And she had to explain to her stammering friend that that really was a family joke. She went on to work with the city of Cambridge for her summer job while she was in university and learned many new skills there too. One day when I was at a volunteer event, I needed some stuff moved and I knew that she was working, so I called her to come to the park and pick up some stuff if she was free. So she rolls up in an F-350, to which my volunteer partner gasps, is that your daughter? Yes, she was a trucking woman. I did try to get rid of all of them at the same time one day because I'd really honestly had enough, And I thought, I sent them all to the Children's Aid in Cambridge. I thought they might get better care there. The real story is that I had sold my truck and I hadn't put gas in it. So of course it ran out of gas at the side of a busy road while I ran to get some more fuel. The CAS was only 100 yards down the road. So I sent them there because I thought that if the truck got hit, that they would all get hurt. So it was safer for them to do that. So the women who received them asked them why they were there, to which they replied, "Our dad sent us."
Our dad's coming back soon.
Yeah. But unfortunately, I had to take them back. So I think yes, it's been sad. I think the defining moment for her was a conversation we had when she was in high school about the normal problems in school and on the bus each day. One day she came to me and said that now she knew that some of those things were really not all that important. I nearly cried. It was a huge positive step, and she's never looked back since, and for that I'm very proud of you. That said, she has taken a lot of abuse about being a meteorologist for me. I keep telling her that all you need for forecast weather is a rope. When it swings back and forth, it's windy, and when it drips, it's raining. All that computer stuff is just for show. I don't really understand it. We're all very proud of her success in life, and with I'll be okay, wish both she and Ken a long and happy life together.
This comes in chapters. So by far the best choice you have ever made, Jess, other than the party, is to choose Ken as your partner in life. It's been interesting to watch your relationship and your love grow. Denise and Mike, you have definitely raised a wonderful, responsible son. And so, Ken, we are delighted to officially welcome you to our family. You fitted into our family seamlessly from the first day. You enjoyed our quirky ways and our quirky humor. Either that or you still don't understand what the heck is going on. Yeah. However, we were a little confused at first because Becca seemed to know something that we didn't because she called you Auntie Ken for ages every time you walked in the door. However, one thing I have learned, never let Ken, Zoe, two little girls, and an exercise ball in one room.
Listen, I broke one lamp, okay? One lamp.
But guess who was the guiltiest looking people around? The big ones. So next time if that happens, I will make sure that Becca will be in charge.
Good idea.
So it's going to Dave and then come back to me, just so you know, hold your applause.
Every family has their own way of expressing themselves. And in the Howell family, we sometimes have been getting together online to exchange ideas. And on that note, I would just like to say, what are you laughing for, Zoe? You know.
Katie's going.
It's first of all, this has been a lovely occasion, and our thanks to all the people that have made this day successful. Had it been in another month, we could have easily had this Saturday night in the park. We could have feasted on ice cream with a guy singing Italian songs. But it might have taken a little bit more time, perhaps, but does anybody really know what time it is? And besides, for such a great occasion, does anybody really care? The happiness I see here has really colored my world. And I'm feeling stronger every day. With the knowledge that Ken and Jess will have a great life together. And in conclusion, I would just like to say we hope that Ken will be able to adapt to this Howell way of expressing ourselves, because for us, it's a hard habit to break. And if you don't catch on, it's hard to say we're sorry.
So if you're still in the dark, see him during the next intermission. So I just want to finish up with some following thoughts. Marriage is wonderful because you get to set the rules. Close the door, forget the world, and figure out what you want to do and where you want to go. Your path is going to be as unique as you are. Now, have fun. Remember to laugh often. Have faith in each other. Cherish your love and your dreams and respect each other. And remember, your family does love you, and we have your back always. So, there's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way, so pick yourself up and remember the promises you made today and just do your best. That's all you can do. So may God bless you both, and we love you. So, can you raise your glass? And let's toast again this lovely couple and their future life together. And hopefully the next time we have one of those text messaging things, Ken will not say, "What's Chicago?"
Cheers. Thank you.
I don't even know what to say right now. You know, you get those kind of moments where a lot of jokes come to your mind and nothing gets through. That's right now, so just give me a little bit till later. We did find out some interesting news from earlier, though. We were talking about Jess's affinity for gnomes. It does actually turn out that that is Ken's D&D player, hence... Anyways, beards, people. Oh, okay. Next up, we have the mother and father of the groom, Mike and Denise. Denise, so I got some information from Ken on them, so don't hate me, please. Denise worked as a healthcare worker, nurse, and clinic manager, while Mike is currently a software salesman and a part-time guitar collector. Believe me, I've seen it. Denise is recently retired and can be found enjoying yoga, gardening, and looking after their favorite child, Tux. Sorry, guys. Mike, when he isn't busy on the golf course, I mean, making client calls, right? Yep. Working. There we go. Can be found with his favorite children, all 30 plus of them now. Yeah, his guitars. So please welcome Mike and Denise.
All right. One page, double spaced. We're good. So, having been married for 37 long years, I've come to the conclusion that sharing your life with someone special and raising a family is a lot of work. It's probably the most unselfish thing you could do, and also the most joyful. And you get to witness a lot of firsts, some of which might be a little embarrassing. So, you know, firstborn in this case, first time I witnessed a C-section, that was pretty wild.
For me, too.
First cries, first burps, first barfs, all over you, of course. First poops. If you've ever seen one go parabolic arc, just missing the diaper and hit the carpet, yeah, that's something. First syllables, da, of course. First steps, you know, followed by first physical bumps and bruises. I think Ken was about 2.5 years old, just putting sentences together, and he was helping me finish the basement. Sheet of 4x8 drywall falls on him, and he face plants onto the cement floor. Didn't cry, didn't anything.
And they didn't call CAS.
Didn't call Children's Services. I get the wood off him and dust him off, get him up, and I didn't react, you know, like it was a big deal, and neither did he. He says, "Big wood fell on me." That's when I knew that he had no problem grasping concepts and expressing himself. And there's first broken bones. So first time climbing down from the cookie jar. Got all the way up, got the cookie jar, and just, you know, missed that last step coming down. Collarbone. Number one. And then smacking his buddy Dylan's friend's hard head, he gets a boxer's fracture in his hand. And then his first snowboard run of the time he was out snowboarding, does it on the first pipe run and breaks his collarbone. So.
Collarbone number 2.
Collarbone number 2.
That's the other one. I had to equalize.
And then, you know, as your children grow up, they get their first emotional bumps and bruises. Usually there was a girl involved. And then first noticeable experience with alcohol. Usually a girl was involved. Some slurred speech was involved. And found one day we were driving together and he spotted a bottle of vodka and the brand name from 40 Paces. And I kind of said to myself, I think I might have missed something here. You know, first graduation from high school, you notice that came after the experience with alcohol?
And I think Luke was involved.
Definitely. You know, first graduation from University of Montreal, Bachelor of Arts, Film Studies, and second graduation from Polytechnique and Industrial Engineering.
And the rest of you were involved.
And I could go on, but now this, you know, finding his soulmate, Jess. And I think Denise has something to say about that.
This is mine right here. So we saw very early on in the relationship between Ken and Jess how special they were together, what great partners they are. They both have really weird and wacky senses of humor, as all of you who love them and know them well are very, very familiar with. But most of all, they're true partners. And so we know that will bode very, very well for a long and happy life together. When I was thinking about what I wanted to say, you know, not always feeling that I'm the most eloquent, I read something that I just wanted to share. It's very short. It's a bit of a blessing, and it's, now there will be no more loneliness. Go now to your dwelling place to enter into the days of your togetherness. And may your days be good and long upon the earth. So family is very, very important to us, obviously to all of us here. And it is our great pleasure to have you formally join our family, Jess. We couldn't be happier, and we love you both very, very much.
All right. It's not often I get the last word.
Enjoy it while you can.
But Ken, after 37 years, there's only 2 things you got to remember, rule 1 and rule number 2. So rule number 1 is Jess is always right. And rule number 2 is if Jess is ever wrong, see rule number 1. And so we raise our glasses, in the case I'll raise Denise's, to a toast to Ken and Jess. May they share many firsts together during a long and happy marriage. Ken and Jess.
All right, we have come to the last speech for this evening. I was trying to think of something funny to share about the newlyweds, but I figured the best wedding gift to them would be this. Jess, what's a tornado's favorite game? Twister. There you go. Ken? Oh, yeah. I warned you earlier, very, very early on, that this was going to happen. Okay. Did you know that the idea of recycling actually came about from a group of pirates? They came up with the idea of the 4 R's. You shouldn't be surprised, given the speeches, that this is going to happen, right? Anyways, now please welcome the newlyweds, Jess and Ken.
Ken and I are so incredibly grateful and overwhelmed with love to have so many people supporting us here in front of us today. That wasn't even what the first sentence of this speech was. Oh my gosh. Okay, what it actually says is Ken and I are so incredibly grateful and overwhelmed to see so many people we love with us here on hopefully our last wedding day. That is what I wrote. To know that you have come to support us from near and far means the world. Some as close as Ottawa, others as far as France. To see us through on this beautiful, weird little trip together, we really, really appreciate it. All of you have been here with us through our entire love story, and we feel grateful again to be sharing this momentous moment with you, our close friends and family.
And we'd like to take this moment to...
Not as easy as it looks, is
right? To thank some of the people that have helped make this day possible. To Sage Designs for all of the lovely chairs and flowers and candles and the setup and flipping the room. You guys did an amazing job. I don't know if they're in the wings somewhere, but they did a really, really good job. So thank you to the Westin as well for this lovely venue, the great food, also helping with the room flip. That was great. And through helping us through the entire process. We've got Miriam to thank, our coordinator,
Christina,
Gabriella.
the variety of people who have come up to us saying, "Do you need something?" and then wandering away after I was like, maybe.
Thank you to Luke and Bethany and your team, Sarah and Mel and Hersey. Thank you very much for all the photos and videos. You guys were awesome today.
And also,
really great.
Every time I sent an email and Bethany was like, maybe you want to do it this way. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Look them up. They are Greyloft Studios.
Cool. Free advert.
Yeah. Thank you to Sue Kellison, our officiant. Thank you for the words, Jess. Got this. We got this. Thank you to Uncle Tom for saying grace. That was lovely. Thank you. To Zoe, our MC, and for all of the emceeing tonight and the advice on sound equipment. That was great.
Also, he literally doesn't know where all of the bodies are buried, so thank you for saying only what you did.
I knew what was coming in one speech, and I figured that was enough for a whole evening. So
yeah, we'll talk.
Thank you, Adam and Katie, for the reading. Where are you guys? You guys are over there. Thank you very much. That was awesome. Thank you to the Flower Girls, Hannah and Becca. So Hannah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Hannah.
Mm-hmm. And to our ring bearer, Jocelyn, thank you very much for that. I know they're elsewhere at the moment, but thank you. Thank you to Emily. So all of your names, your place cards, as well as the cards at the front, that is the table settings. Yeah, that is Emily. So thank you very much, Emily, for that. Yeah, and thanks to Max for your help in this morning with the setup, the sound equipment, and the nick of time, sound things that we had missed. So that was awesome. And if I've forgotten to thank you, I'm sorry, and also thank you. And of course, this day would not be complete without our people by our side.
It was specifically requested by the person that I'm going to thank next to not do this, so too bad. To our wedding party, thank you everyone for being here. Kelsey, you've been a kind and smirking presence since the day that I've met you. You've become a lot of things to me, such as a excellent multimedia recommender, a gym buddy, a provider of the most excellent snacks, such as our wedding cake tonight, and a friend. But of all of the things that I'm happiest about you becoming is my sister. Thank you so much for everything, and I look forward to all the adventures that we will have.
To Luke, who I've known since grade school, with whom I've shared an endless array of adventures growing up, like hopping on our bikes and heading down to the falls to conquer the wilds of Orleans, or delving into the depths of the computer hive that my dad built us in my parents' basement to play Command & Conquer or Call of Duty, or indeed the first time we discovered alcohol in Lucas's basement for his birthday, where Dylan slept safely in the carpet I rolled him in, and Schnare made a new home for himself in a tree. Of all the friendships I have, ours is the longest. I thank you for sticking with me for all these years, despite the distance and the rest that life has thrown our way. And I find myself lucky to count among my closest friends the loving father and successful business owner that you have become.
Gina. Our Emperor Penguin. You have been an unrelenting cheerleader in my life and a calm source of reason when I've needed it. A calm that I should say evaporates the second that any kind of show tune comes on. Thank you for being my Canadiana concert buddy, singing camp songs with me in public, and pretending to be surprised when I send you something that you have already seen on Twitter. You are a once-in-a-lifetime friend, and I cannot wait to see you become the most incredible mother to our little pineapple-sized, hail-sized, lime-sized baby girl. I'm sorry.
Will, c'est avec toi que j'ai passé la plupart de mes moments forts à l'université. Depuis ma première année, où je me suis trouvé à Polyprojet, le seul petit génie indus parmi les bols de génie physique, je me souviendrai toujours des heures passées devant les tableaux blancs à étoffer nos concepts, des journées passées au festival Eureka à faire crier des enfants autour de notre robot gicleur qui était très efficace à transformer la belle pelouse en étang de bouette. Ou encore le retour en autobus d'un certain week-end à la compétition québécoise d'ingénierie en écoutant Frozen sur ton laptop en partageant des écouteurs. Et en essayant désespérément de garder le contrôle de mon estomac. Je pense que c'est nos passions pour le défi et l'innovation qui nous ont réunis au départ et je ne doute pas qu'elles continueront à nous unir. Car, surtout avec la petite Adèle qui fait apparition sur scène, les défis sont à peine commencés.
Will! Alice. From the minute I met you, I knew that we could be great friends. And I'm so glad that I was right. We've delighted in moments like screaming and crying about our favorite podcasts, taking the single most confusing trip to Las Vegas to see Zootopia and Michael the Magician, trying to discern tacos from sour cream, or that one time I helped you shave your head. Thank you for always being there for me to listen at any time of day or night, sharing anything from words of encouragement to all caps shared outrage. I am profoundly lucky to have a friend as fierce as you.
Pierre, mon bro! Depuis les moments où l'univers a orchestré la croisée de nos chemins dans ce laboratoire de gestion de fabrication, où justement tu arrivais tout frais de la France, en territoire inconnu, et moi, à mon habitude, en retard. Si une rencontre était le hasard, notre colocation était un concours de circonstances. De nouveaux célibataires, malgré moi, non seulement m'as-tu invité en coloc, mais tu m'as aussi aidé à déménager tous mes meubles à la main, te tapant l'aller-retour de 200 mètres et les 3 étages d'escalier entre nos appartements, la nuit, en plein cœur congelé de février. Chapeau. Hasard ou non, ce sont des histoires comme celle-ci qui témoignent de que notre amitié est loin d'être un accident. Peu importe l'événement ou l'activité, que ce soit en gueulant comme des fous à jouer à League of Legends, passer un hiver complet à manger des saucisses, du couscous et des flammekuche devant la télé en regardant Hannibal, déballer les pentes de ski à Tignes sous 4 mètres de neige au Nouvel An, ou sauver des demoiselles pris par assaut dans un bar au Japon, je me compte d'autant plus chanceux car j'ai pu partager ces moments avec toi. Et je suis d'autant plus chanceux de pouvoir t'appeler best man à mon mariage. For this, I love you, bro. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Sister. I'm not sure when we transitioned from tolerating each other to becoming friends. One day you were telling your friends I was emo, which is also apparently today. And then you were inviting me to come hang out with you on purpose. Those BC hikes will forever be memories, or some of my favorite memories, and I am so lucky to be able to say that I knew you before your burgeoning career as an influencer. Thank you for the hundreds of hours of couch chats and walks, for leaving me voicemails about nothing, for yes-anding every single typo I have ever made, and devolving into utter insanity at every chance we get. And also, sorry to Zoe for all of those things at the same time. Thank you for, once again, being there to navigate me through this, navigate me through one of the biggest moments of my life, even though you had to, because it is my day. You are my very best friend, and for that I must say to you, rock and roll.
Parents. Parental units. Progenitors.
Wow.
Those that come before. I don't know.
Careful, you're going to need babysitters one day.
Mom, Dad, thank you for supporting me in all the countless loving ways you have done and continue to do. From creating a haven for the Lost Boys with a dungeon full of games and a fridge full of snacks, to freezing your butts off at the hockey rink, bringing me to games, to getting me through school with the mantra, have fun, be good, learn lots. No matter what I choose to do, like letting my hair grow long, or refusing to wear anything but black for years, or me even moving to another city and going to film school, I always felt I could, yeah! I always felt I could count on you for your love and support. And thank you for supporting Jess and I through our journey, for making her feel at home from day one, and for everything you have done to help make this day possible. Thank you for everything. I love you.
When Ken brought me to Ottawa for the first time, he decided to tell me in the car while we were moving, where I could no longer make a safe exit, that I was about to meet 20 plus of his family members at the same time. I was prepared to be overwhelmed, but Mike and Denise, after I met you, I realized that you were all just the right kind of crazy for me to feel at home. Over the last 5 years, without hesitation or seemingly a second thought, you've treated me like a member of the family and have been more welcoming than I ever could have hoped for. Thank you for the open door policy, every movie night, literal long walks on the beach at sunset, and always checking in. I am so honored that you are welcoming me into your family tonight. And now my own parents, who I have some damage control, I guess. It was only one time ever. Don't ask questions. When trying to coerce any of us into doing something over the years, my dad would look at all of us and trying to reason with us, saying, "I was nice to you once. You could have said a lot of things tonight, so I feel like we finally found that one time that you can refer to, saying, I was nice to you." We ask for a lot of receipts, and he's like, whatever. So I can use my Plan A speech because the plan, it was okay for the Plan B one. I'd like to thank you for the unyielding, if confused, support over the years. It's clear that I have never made my path in life very evident to you guys. Just a lot of last minute decisions that you were like, well, okay, guess we're running with this now. You're moving to Halifax? All right, fine. And it's no mystery that no doubt that I have kept you guessing about what my next move would be. But whether I was joining the drama club or running halfway across the country to pursue a job that you didn't really understand, you shrugged and you supported me anyway. Thank you for always trying to steal our desserts. I am now ever vigilant. Thank you for all of the euchre matches, the hilarious emails, for teaching us to always laugh, and sending us all home with extra food no matter how much we protest. Even if I get accused of stealing things that you send me home with later on, Mom. It means the world to me that you've welcomed Ken and regularly quiz him about electric cars. We could not have gotten to this point today without you, and I love you very much.
Dave, Isabel, thank you so much for raising such a smart, funny, sassy, loving daughter, for making me feel welcome right from the start, for help with my French, Dave, for always making sure I've had enough to eat, for letting me convince your whole family that I was a rugged lumberjack by chopping all that wood that one time at the cottage. I did. And thank you again for all you've done to help make this day a one we will remember forever. Thank you.
So as a last minute note, thank you for everyone for being here. It means so much that all of you came this far to support us. For anybody who is staying overnight at the hotel, Ken and I are going to be having breakfast in the hotel restaurant tomorrow at 9 a.m. So feel free to stop in on us. It's a standing appointment. Also, extra hour of sleep tonight because of the time change. So 9 is actually 10. You're welcome. My gift to you on our wedding day. But yeah, anyone who wants to see us, they said that you could just walk in if you don't want to stay, whatever. We will be at Daly's tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Before we end our speech, we'd just like to say that we hope you've enjoyed the day so far, and we wish for you to enjoy the rest of the night with us. We also hope that you, who mean so much to us, will mark this day for what it is, a nice stop, but ultimately only one among many on our journey together through this adventure we call life. Please raise your glasses. For love and for the journey together.